So before the video actually starts, there are two things that I want to mention. First, wow, that's a lot of subscribers. And second, my decorating style is really inconvenient for voiceover and commentary style videos. It's really sporadic between adding things, playtesting, and then tweaking the things that I just added. So not everything that I do with this level is going to be shown in the video. Sorry about that, but anyways, on to the actual building. So I asked on a poll what y'all wanted me to do, and the highest voted option was to make a level with voiceover and commentary and explaining all that I did. I don't have any good ideas for full levels right now, so instead I'm going to be doing an impossible challenge for the new impossible challenges list. As usual, I have set out speed changes. It's going to be about 12 seconds long, and then we have triggers down here. I'm just noticing that with this texture pack, the triggers look really weird. Now, my plan for this challenge is to have it being a duel with Wave and Spider, and up here is what I have sort of planned for it. This wave right here requires tiny micro clicks, so you have to go up, and then down, and then back up again, and then it requires very, very small movements. And then here, this is a very tight on-grid spider gap with these bushes extending the hitbox quite a ways. First thing I'm going to do is just lay out the very beginning of everything, just so that I have a good basis of where everything is going to go. So now they're set up as tubes, and then during these little parts, I'm going to put these spikes like that, and then you cap that off with spikes. So now I'm going to set up the actual interior spikes. I'm going to use these right here, and then just shift them until that's even with the grid space, and then I'm going to push it in a bit. And I do believe that this is physically possible. I'm not sure if it being like this is. So I'm going to take these. I may in the future move these right there to fill it up a bit more, but for now, I'm going to keep these on grid. So it goes all the way up there, turns, goes down, turns again, goes up, goes down a little bit, goes up a little bit, and then goes all the way back down, and this pattern continues for the rest of the wave. I'm gonna build out all of that and then add the spider bits around it. So I have all of the wave corridor bit laid out. I haven't tubed the entire thing yet. And before I do that, I'm going to select the little spikes and then copy and paste these around everywhere that I think would be good. So this is going to be right near the top, so that seems like a good spot to go down. This one only really has two possible options of where it could go. And yeah, I'll get back when I've finished all of these gaps. Now that is the entirety of the wave, except for the tubing bit right here, completely finished. These spikes all the way over here aren't actually optional because the difficulty is the same if it's this and if it's this. This spike and this spike are the two contributing to difficulty because this is the gap, and then that's the third gap that you have to go through. Now I'm just going to playtest it to make sure that it's actually below 15 clicks a second. So from what I could see, it did reach 14 at one point, but I think it should be fine, hopefully, since it is not over 15, and the run was hopefully accurate enough to the clicks that it was not wildly inaccurate. So now I'm going to go through and then extend all of these down so it looks a lot more intimidating. Now that is looking very intimidating. Now with the wave corridor all laid out, I'm going to start injecting spiders into this. That sounds rather terrifying. Okay then. So now then that goes down like here. We need at least 2 blocks. I'm gonna probably select all of this and move it to layer 2. That. I'd like to put one of these gaps right here, but that's exactly where the sort of switch thing is. So does this gap work with Mini Spider? Oh goodness, it's like inverting on itself. That's weird. So will this work? It will not. So what if I take this thing right here and then make it scale -1? Okay, so this is the first intervention of VoiceOver Crimson here to say inverted hitboxes are really weird. I use a few more of them throughout the level, but don't, because they're really inconsistent and break a lot of stuff. So Mini Spider is going to save the day by having the weirdest and smallest movements ever. Maybe have a pink pad going into a dash orb. So this will bounce it up slightly. Oh, but then it's going to hit the slope. So instead, I could put a green orb there. So it's going to start moving downwards. And then also put an orb, a dash orb right on top of it. So then we're going to get this gap right here. Half space it up. I'm not going to use +4s because I don't feel like it. And then just shift that down a couple. And just like that, you then have to double click that. I can start here by putting these, I guess. So you have to let go really quickly. And then we need a mini spike there. And then a big spike maybe there. And then this continues all the way to right here, where I'm going to separate that and then put on all of these spikes. And yeah, that is 2 bits of the spider section done. It's probably going to pop up here, go down, go back up, go back down. So there are 4 or 5 more bits of this spider that have to be injected, and then the layout is done and it is on to decoration. It is time to decorate this. I have a few ideas, but I think most of this is just going to be testing stuff to see what works. Background is that one maybe, and then ground is just going to be black. So there are these sort of spiky bush things, and I'm thinking I'm going to use those a bit. Okay, all of these blocks, I think, select all, make them invisible. Bricks. Yeah, I think bricks with like some backlighting would work. The main level that I'm gonna be taking inspiration from is very similar to the song, is going to be Stalemate Redux. So a dark red for that. Object color is going to be set to black. Color 1's also going to be set to black. And I think I'm going to add some pulses for the object color to a red, but I'm not sure what type of red. So, where is the... why is there no line on it? Okay, so this is the active part of the pulse. I could desaturate that a bit, then how does that decay? A bit more saturated. Okay, I think that decays well. We're gonna do 1 every note. I set these at a 0.7 so it doesn't get too dark. I'm gonna once again desaturate this last one just for a bit of extra pizzazz. And then going with the object pulses. And then I don't think I'm going to have another one of those black and white background pulses right at the end. Now already this layout is looking a lot more alive just with all the pulses in place. Now it's time to get on to the actual detail, and the first thing is all of these slopes. For these, I'm going to go with the tried and tested method of these metal-ish objects. And now then, I made sure to put all of these spider parts at least 1 block away from these slopes, so I can use these corner pieces with the really weird hitboxes. Okay, so that's all of this outlined, and I have an idea that might work. I'm gonna select all of these metal things, copy and paste them, move them to a new layer, then OBS doesn't record, but in MegaHack v7, at the very top of the creator thing, I'm gonna turn on absolute positioning and absolute scaling, and then I'm gonna scale this and turn it all to -1. This is really laggy. Remember what I said about inverted hitboxes? Yeah, this is where that comes into play. Inverted corner pieces have an even worse hitbox than they do originally, so I'm not going to be able to use them. The slopes themselves are actually fine, I just half-space them down and then put them on a lower Z order. And now then, on the next layer, I am going to take these and start outlining all of these slopes again. Alright, I'm going to select all of this, set that to T1, and then because this is automatically layered over everything, I'm going to move it all the way down to something in the negatives. And that will be the backing block. So now I'm going to put black glow on the underside of all of the slope tubes so that the filling block that I use gets sort of meshed in with the slopes. I'm going to put some kind of backing block under the slopes, kind of like in the wave part in Stalemate Redux. The only question is which to use. I think the winner is going to be these first ones, just because I think they look the second best behind the bricks, but I want to use the bricks for the spiders blocks. That took a really long time. Select all, don't fade, don't enter, and glow off. I am now going to get on to the spider block design, starting with the primary outline. And then the next thing is the secondary outline, setting this to color 1, which is black. There's a chance that I only use 1 or maybe 2 colors for this entire level. And select the bricks, put these on T1. This piece of glow, like that, copy color object with blending, and then put that onto T1. Alright, so now then I am free to edit this color, turn down the opacity a bit, and actually not turn down the opacity a bit, turn the brightness down a bit, and turn the hue to +10. That is not enough. Turn the hue to +20, so now that is orange. And then lastly, take these blocks, by default set to 1 and background 2, put those behind so then it has its little backing block. Now for these little sort of half parts, I'm going to take these fading slopes and then I'm just going to use those. Time to outline all of these blocks. To do this sort of alternating ground spikes like that. For glow, we go like that. Next, free copy color object, and then hue to -20. And now it's sort of pink. As with the other tutorial, I'm going to select all of this and put that on T2 so it goes above everything, and then make sure these are on blending, which they are. That is not blending properly. Okay, yeah, I think that works a lot better. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Select all, don't fade, don't enter, glow off. Onto the next layer. And the next thing on the checklist is a background of some kind. For this, I think I'm gonna go with these sort of like 3D rock pieces. I'm gonna scale them up pretty big and then set them to black before, and then I'm gonna start making some kind of like triangle-y thing out of them. And now that it's like that, I can take this slope, scale that up a lot, set that to B4, and then plop this in here as well. So this right here is one structure, and I think I'm gonna make a few more. Okay, that makes 2. Now then, using these rock structures, I'm going to just start creating a very basic background thing. I'm gonna take all that, set that to the next group, and do the Xylinox triplet thing, where we do 10, minus 100 instantly, then 10 lock player X for forever, and then the follow modification, which 300 I guess, has to be negative. Okay, this is really messy, but I think I'm gonna keep it. And then something that always helps in these scenarios is a bit of ambient blocking. Okay, yeah, that did work. But I think it needs another group. So alpha 13 to 70. So yeah, that's all wonderful. Then I'm going to work on this copy color background blending and just create some light rays. I said it right this time. Scaled up and tilted. In addition to that, I'm going to this, add some overlay chains. Okay, it's time for some more lighting. Massively scaled up glow. Set that to color object, I guess, with blending, lower brightness, higher saturation, and lower opacity. And then put that on T3. And just slowly modify all these values until it works. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video, that my decoration style was really sporadic? This is the point where it gets too sporadic, to the point where I don't even think I could cut it down into something that would make logical sense. What you're seeing in the time-lapse right now is me altering the T3 glow and border glow until it looks good. I also added a moving layer to the backgrounds and some saw blades inside of the structures. Then lastly, I added a camera transition into my neon logo, and I renamed the level to Spooky. And that's it. I'm aware that the pacing wasn't the best, but hopefully as I do this more, it should get better. I do have a few more ideas for levels that I could build, and one of which is for a creator contest, so I think that one's going to be first. Although there will be a showcase in just a moment, a better 4K version will be uploaded a few minutes after this video is. I hope I was able to inform you or entertain you. Farewell for now.